Tuned in. We're in the Northern Cape today, and we're in the capital, Kimberley. And the Northern Cape, if you didn't know, is actually a new province. It was formed in 1994 when they split the Cape province, and Kimberley is its capital. And we're talking with the Premier and 4 of her MECs today. And this is in the latest in the series of New Age business briefings brought to you by the SABC, and today sponsored by Transnet. And just before the break, we heard quite a bit from the Premier. She set the stage, I think, for our conversation. We have an audience here of several hundred people, I've got to say, and we look forward to hearing from you at home as well, particularly if you're in this province in the Northern Cape. But a lot of issues that we'll be discussing here, I think, are national issues as well. So you can be part of that conversation at Morning Live SABC or hashtag TNA BizBrief, and we'll pick up your tweets and put the questions through. All right, let's go back to our panel and introduce them to you. Premier, thank you very much indeed for joining us once again. Welcome to you. Next to you is the MEC for Public Works, Rooi. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, MEC, and welcome.
Good morning, Peter.
MEC Finance Economic Development, MEC John Block. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. Welcome to the program. And next to you is the MEC for Transport and Safety, MEC McCollin Jack. Thank you for joining us. Not a stranger to our programs. We've chatted before. And MEC for Housing, MEC Alvin. Thank you very much for joining us and welcome. All right, I'm going to start this end actually, because we've heard from the Premier, but maybe let's start with you, MEC for Housing, MEC Bottas. If you could just comment a little bit further on what the MEC was talking about. She told us about the number of houses and human settlements that have been handed over, but I want to know, what she didn't tell us is how many people are still waiting for housing, how long is the backlog, and what are you doing to address that?
Yes, no, thank you very much, Peter. I think the important issue is for our people to understand that government's agenda, it's a pro-poor agenda. And our singular objective is actually to make poverty poorer. We have rolled out a comprehensive human settlements program in the Northern Cape. You have heard that we have actually constructed a multifold type of RDP settlements in the Northern Cape. Our backlog base in terms of the information that we are having at our disposal says that we still have a backlog of our people that qualifies for RDP houses that are actually very poor. We are standing at a backlog of almost 15,000 in the Northern Cape. But I think the most important issue that the Premier have actually raised is that our agenda of delivering houses is on track. Since 1994, we have been able to construct more than 62,000 quality RDP houses. Our latest development project in Kimberley that we are piloting, the Lerato Integrated Housing Development Program, actually our people refer no more to RDP houses because the quality of those houses actually is more closer, it symbolizes more closer your township type of development. So right here in Khalishiwe, right here amongst our people, we have established apartments that our people can stay in, and our people are generally very, very happy. I must add, Peter, the only problem of housing delivery in the Northern Cape is a problem of quality delivery that we are having. Our people are now today very anxious, given the qualitative nature of our construction program, and people want to move in tomorrow into these nice quality houses.
All right, we'll explore that a little bit further down the line, because you said 62,000 houses in 20 years, backlog of 15,000. That basically means you've got quite a lot to do still, and it looks like, if we take that equation into account, quite a long time still to go. But let's move to the MEC for Transport and Safety, MEC Jack. I guess for this province to move, infrastructure development becomes key. I've driven between Bloemfontein and Kimberley, and there's a lot of road construction taking place there. Is this something that's happening right around the province? Because without that, I guess, a lot of your initiatives to try and grow the province will come to naught without the right infrastructure.
Thank you very much, Peter. I think I need to firstly contextualize your question. There's a cooperation between Department of Roads as well as Transport, precisely because in our province, these are two different portfolios. But as a matter of fact, management of the road infrastructure in the province is paramount. It's paramount to socio-economic development because we need to transport material from the source to value adding up to the market, then beyond that to the consumer. And it remains a serious responsibility. That's why we have identified 4 fundamental projects where we are giving serious attention to. The whole question of the harbour development of Port Noloth, the question of Uppington Cargo Hub, the question of Belmont Douglas railway line, but most importantly, the whole question of the railway revitalization project of the R, where we are saying, as the Northern Cape, as much as we are promoting the question of mining, we are saying, as we are transporting this, it cannot go straight from source to some other areas in the country that are not in the Northern Cape. We are saying, let's make the R railway line relevant. Take it from the source to the R and then store it and then transport it to where it's supposed to be.
Okay.
That is going to add on the question of jobs. That is going to add on the question of economic development. And as a matter of fact, we have identified a challenge now, that our roads are being ravaged by the road trucks that are taking the resources, the mineral resources, from the source. Because those roads were not designed for so heavy traffic. And as a matter of fact, we need to start to look at how do we really forge links with our national government to start to say, let's rather reduce traffic on the roads and move to rail.
Okay.
And that is our strategy. Thank you very much.
Well, you've mentioned economic development, and that man is sitting next to you, MEC for Finance and Economic Development. MEC, I would imagine it's quite a challenge to try and get people to come all the way out here to the Northern Cape. The mines are here, so they have to be here. Tourism, yes, you've got a few sites, and the farms, but how do you grow new industries, new areas of investment when you're so far away? What would be attractive for us to come? How are you incentivizing potential investors to come all the way out here?
Well, 2 of the issues that we are addressing, the Premier spoke about the intra-provincial air traffic because of the vastness of the province, transport, traveling is a challenge. We're hoping to do that so that people who want to come and do business here will be able to reach their destinations quicker, because not everybody has the patience we have to travel these long distances. The second area we're looking at is localization, manufacturing. Because of the amount of solar and other energy plants that are coming up in the province, it is necessary that the parts must be manufactured locally. It's necessary that local people must be empowered to manufacture those plants. But mining, the bigger challenge, given our history with mining, is the legacy of mining. That legacy of mining can only be positive and long-lasting if we beneficiate some of the materials that we move here. That's why we're supporting the Sinter plant in Ottersel, because that will enable a product to be mined here, sintered here, and then taken to Ngqura. So those are some of the initiatives that we're looking at. The third initiative is to make sure that our tourism focus grows, because tourism has to promote this province beyond mining. And we've already identified international and local initiatives that are working. A few months ago, we had the Kimberley Diamond Cup, the biggest skateboarding championship in the world. It's broadcasted in more than 130 countries. A lot of young people are benefiting from it. In a few years' time, we'll have the Bloodhound land speed record in Mir. There's huge focus. There's huge focus on Destination Northern Cape. I think that brand is growing. There is more and more global awareness about what the Northern Cape has to offer. We are also a province of astronomy. And that's why we see the university as a catalyst, not only to bring people here, but to keep those skills here. But that university has to be relevant to the kind of industries that we want to build.
All right. So did you try your hand at skateboarding? No?
It doesn't allow me.
All right, next to you is MEC Public Works, and I guess, you know, the word service delivery really is the one that you're sitting with. The Premier said a lot of high percentages, but you've had your fair share of service delivery protests. So help me understand. On the one hand, Premier is saying you're delivering, but on the other, we're seeing these protests. Is it that they're impatient or they don't quite get the amount of progress that's being made? Where's the disconnect?
Peter, thanks. I think there's two issues that I must just give clarity on the responsibility of the department. One is the roads angle, where we are responsible for 23,000 kilometers of gravel roads and more than 3,000 kilometers of tar road. Maintenance and the upgrading of these roads. That's the one element. Maybe I must speak to that to say that up to now, since 2009, we have spent 2.1 billion in upgrading and maintenance of those roads. The second element is the element of public works. As public works, we are an implementing agent of all our sister departments in terms of hospitals, clinics, schools, libraries, and so on. Since 2009 up to now, we have spent 1.8 billion on 115 projects. That is part of the work that we are doing. Linked to it, the expanded public works program, which is linked to the issue of job creation. Now, that program is a program that has been run right through the whole administration, led by the Department of Public Works. But our own contribution to that program is standing at this point in time at 206 million, which gives us around, in our own department, around jobs that we have created close to 65,000 in the province. So that is the contribution that we are making. It's very true that service delivery is not an issue that is only linked to all these things that I have raised, but to the general problems that our community are facing. And I think we must acknowledge that we are on a road that we are traveling. There's a lot of things that we are doing, but sure, we acknowledge there's a lot that still needs to be done.
All right, okay. Again, I'm sure this is an issue that we will explore further, looking at some of the questions that have come through here. Premier, you did say something quite interesting earlier on about, and this is mining country. You know, a lot of Kimberley was built around mining, and you said that mining needs to benefit the people that live in this part of the world. And I'm wondering, how do people benefit beyond getting a wage?
Thank you very much, Peter. You see, the issue that we are currently discussing with the mining houses, we are in negotiations with them, and we are even planning to have a mining in Daba, if not before the end of this year, early next year, is the fact that, especially in the John Taule Heights-Sewe region, we are experiencing that our people are in an island of poverty within a sea of wealth through our mineral resources that are being extracted. Because you find an area like Jomorolong where there is no basic road infrastructure especially. We as the government, we can deliver houses, we can deliver electricity, can deliver water, we can deliver a basic contribution like the MEC Rooi have said to the gravel roads and things like that. But you found, we found when in our outreach programs that you find that these people are staying next to the mines and they are actually the poorest of the poor within the province.
So what do you want them to do?
We want them to, through social and labor responsibility, invest in the area from where they are extracting, but also to expand, to help us to expand our skills base so that our people can be able to have high-skilled jobs within the mines and not only be the basic primary labor source for the mines. And that is the kind of things that we are asking from them. We are getting good cooperation, that I must also say. But the fact of the matter is that I feel maybe for too long we have allowed things to go on the way they have been going on. That is why we are engaging the mines, and we really want to see our people to experience the better life, because Sandton and Centurion cannot be forever the places where our GDP is being calculated, whereas the mineral resources are being extracted from the Northern Cape province.
All right, okay. I think that that's probably a good place to pause for thought. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll start taking your questions at home.